and they hit it off, and he has a connection with the whole group. So I think obviously he's trying to build a chemistry from a football standpoint and a timing and build rhythm, but I think one of his strengths is he doesn't just put himself into a hole of I'm just going to be around these guys. He tries to not only make himself available but go out of his way to reach different guys, different ages, and that's a strength of a quarterback because it takes the whole team. It's not just going to be that can change real quick. Who's out there with you, who's on the other side of the ball, who you're counting on, and they want to know that their leader's connected with all of them, and I think that's a strength of his.
How about the on-field product?
From Badgers people, like, what are you doing at Iowa? Because he has so many ties there.
Yeah. There was such a great time when we were there. Having played there, my wife went to school at Edgewood, and we were in Madison for 12 years, and not so much what are you doing there, but just you get the normal questions: is it weird? Is it strange being in the black and gold? But that within this profession, that goes away so fast because, like I said, one of the things that we were looking at real hard when we had the opportunity was just who are the people that we're doing it with, and this place you can't get a better staff from top to bottom, the people that you're around, and that was very similar to me in my time at Wisconsin. I mean, Coach Chris, he's a mentor to me, and he did an unbelievable job of making you feel that, and when I came here, felt that same thing. Obviously, Coach Ferentz is a Hall of Fame football coach, but you sit down with him for 10 minutes and it doesn't take long to realize he's a better person than he is coach, and that's been a real highlight for me and my family, being able to be a part of that.
If I'm remembering correctly,
yep, absolutely.
You were first a volunteer, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Came over as a volunteer. We're kind of waiting to see, what exactly was going to transpire within the profession, and if there were going to be opportunities come up. And started off as a volunteer, and was able to get a position in the summertime. And like I said, I was fortunate for that opportunity, and happy that I was able to, create enough value for myself that they wanted to keep me for another year. So. Very thankful to be here.
What was that like, moving without
Yeah, you know what made it even tougher, my wife, she's a saint. She was 8.5, 9 months pregnant with our second child. So she was a trooper because she handled everything out in Fort Collins, and got the move, got the house sold, everything, all the hard stuff. She took care of so that I was able to come here and start learning and coaching and adding as much value as I can. But it was a transition period, but you know what, we stuck together, and it takes a village in this profession, and I'm fortunate that my wife was able to help me out there.
And then you were ready for the spring then, right?
Yeah. Was able to get here in time for the spring so I could be around it, and it was more getting a feel for just kind of what they were doing, and that was the approach Brian wanted me to take. Like, this is kind of who we are, what we've been, and get a sense of what things thought could carry over, and what were some thoughts going forward that we might be able to transition into. And that's one thing I said earlier, but you don't get to have success in the position I'm in without a coordinator like Brian. He puts his ego aside. He's challenging himself. He's challenging myself to think differently, the staff, and that part I think is what ultimately is going to lead to success.
Now with your new title, senior special assistant to head coach, I think it is, or something like that.
Yeah.
What does that mean from a day-to-day standpoint?
Day-to-day, it's really working real close with Brian and the offensive staff, and being able to, analyze what it is we're putting on tape, what the concepts are that we're doing, and being able to provide feedback, not only for the quarterback room, but conceptually, what I see, and confirming thoughts of what we felt like it was going to look like, and if there's something that's a little bit different, then okay, let's sit down and study it, and let's get to the bottom of it so we can make sure that it's an efficient plan for the guys out on the field.
I think Kate told me you were the first coach to offer him. What did you see in him, and has that kind of seen its way to the field?
Yeah, there was two things. His release was phenomenal. Between that and his accuracy, those were two things that jumped out right away. And then after that, because like I said earlier, that's kind of the price of entry. Like, you got to be accurate. You got to get to this level, you have to have that within you. He was extremely accurate, very efficient with his release. And then when I had the opportunity to go out to Nevada and watch him throw in high school, he was competitive. Like every situation he put himself through, he was just doing routes on air. It wasn't a major workout, but he was ultra competitive. And I think those two things give you a chance to have success, you know, between the release, the accuracy, and then who are you as a person. And didn't take long for me to see that. And he decided he needed to go in a different direction, which I won't hold it against him. But those were a couple of the big things.
Is he the type of player you thought he was going to be right now?
Yeah, he is. He's eager, not to prove anybody wrong, but to prove himself right, I think. And I think that's important because he knows what he's capable of. He knows the standard he sets for himself, and that's a really dangerous thing for an opponent because it's inside, you know, and he's not looking to go out and show. He wants this place to be successful. He wants to be a part of it. He wants to impact it, and he's willing to do anything and everything to get to that point. And so from a football standpoint, yeah, it's no different than when I saw him in high school or saw him on crossover tape when he was at Michigan. But I think that buying into the way the standard that's been set here and you know what Coach Ferentz and all the guys that have come before him have created, he's really embraced that, and he's excited about it.
What about Deacon? You know, he's the guy that you recruited to Wisconsin. Big arm.
Yeah.
Is that what you kind of saw with him, and is he kind of the player you thought?
Yeah, Deke was very, very similar to Cade. It was, you know, his first offer, and went out to, you know, Santa Barbara at the time, and the same thing jumps out. You know, he can make all the throws accurate, and then you dig a little deeper and you get to know him as a person, and he's got a great family, athletic family, like all the you know, one of three sisters, and they're all water polo, you know, and which is not easy, you know. So he comes from a good background, and his parents are really solid. So never got the opportunity to coach him at Wisconsin because right when he was getting there, I was leaving for Colorado State. So didn't get that opportunity to see kind of where he was at, you know, that year and a half at Wisconsin. But what he was in high school is who he is here, and it's fun to see him around the guys, and same as Cade, embracing what, you know, the way they do things here and trying to make an impact.
Thanks, John.
Yep.